Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fabulous day. Today I have a comparison between the Chanel wallet on chain and the Chanel mini rectangular flap. I will be giving you a quick overview of the items, pros, cons, final thoughts, recommendations, mod shots, you name it. We are going to go in depth. I do have my notes in front of me, so if I keep looking down, you know why. I want to make sure that I give you guys as much information as possible. And then kind of like what I've done with other comparison videos, I'm going to do the details back to back so it's a little bit easier. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Starting with the measurements on the wallet on chain, they are 7.6 inches in length, it is 4.8 inches in height, and approximately 1.4 inches in depth. This item weighs in at approximately 13.8 ounces. I always like to include the weight just in case. It also has a strap drop or a chain drop of 26 inches from the tip to the top of the bag, and that can also change because it's a little bit more versatile, and I'll get into that in just a second. Now this is the classic quilted in the black caviar leather with the gold hardware. This item currently retails for $2,100 here in the States. However, you can choose from so many different types of variations out there. You can go for the classic quilted, you can go for the boy wallet on chain, you can go for the reissue wallet on chain, you can go for gold hardware, silver hardware, lambskin leather, caviar leather, you name it. Sometimes the special edition ones are a little bit more expensive because they have a little bit more of an intricate design. I do have two in my collection, like I said, the black caviar with the gold, and for a little variety, I have the red caviar with the silver hardware as well. So like I said, the quilted classics retail for $2,100. All right, now for the overview, for the details of this bag. This is the front view of it. You have a double CC logo with a quilted caviar throughout. This is the back side of it. You have one slip pocket here. There is a side view of it. There is another side view, and then the bottom, as you can see, mine is very, very wrinkled. All right, so the double CC is a snap button closure that pops open like so. On the interior, you have one little secret compartment here that goes the entire length of the wallet on chain on the back side, and I will also get into that in just a second. You have this little housing unit for the chain since it's not stationary, but you're able to move it around. You also have the beautiful burgundy fabric interior that has 6 credit card slots that are part of the design of the lining. You have an open compartment here. You have a slip pocket here, a zippered compartment here, and another pocket right here. Hopefully I got it all because hopefully it's actually focusing because I can't really tell. But there we go. So that is the detail of the wallet on chain, and I just have the chain out. You can actually end up hiding the chain completely inside of the bag, but just for let me just show you guys, just for reference, you could just kind of throw it in there, and then you have the wallet part of the bag. Now for the measurements on the mini rectangular, they are 8 inches in length, 4.75 inches in height, and approximately 2.5 inches in depth. This item weighs in at approximately 14.8 ounces, and this has a strap drop of 23 inches from the tip to the top of the bag. And this one currently retails for $3,100 here in the States. There are also different variations that you can choose from when it comes to this. You can get different colors, seasonal colors. They also have different types of hardware, different types of leather that you can end up choosing from. I actually have two in my collection. Here I have the black caviar with the light gold hardware, and I also have the black lambskin with the light gold hardware. And the biggest difference between these two, sometimes, like I said, the details might differ from collection to collection, but this one you can see that it has stitching along the double CC logo, and this one does not. It just has just a smooth finish there. But as far as the details on this bag, you do have, like I said, the double CC turn lock closure that is very reminiscent of the classic flaps. On the back side, you also have a pocket. There is a side view of it. There's another side view. And then on the bottom, there you go. I don't have any feet, or they don't come with any feet, I should say. And then on the inside, you just turn the lock here. And this is what you have. You have one zippered compartment here and one slip pocket here, and then just an open compartment right there. And they are all leather lined. All right. On to the pros. The wallet on chain definitely has quite a bit of pros. The first one being the versatility. I love that you can use this bag in so many different aspects of your lifestyle. You can use it as a wallet, as the name states, because it is technically considered a small leather good. You can use it as a handbag, as most people end up using, like myself. You can end up using this as a clutch, as a crossbody bag, a shoulder bag. It doesn't matter. You can hide the chain, as I said before. So when you want to use this as a clutch, you can do that, kind of like what I showed you guys earlier. And you can also end up changing the strap drop, kind of like what I was talking about at the beginning. All you have to do is just kind of crisscross the chain in here, and it makes for a shorter handbag. So I do love that. Another pro about this bag is how easy it is to transition from day to night. Let's say that you want to use this bag to run errands, to go grocery shopping. You can do that. You can dress it down with jeans, a t-shirt, with any type of outfit that you're wearing. Very, very casual. Or you can end up dressing it up if you have a little black dress, if you're going on a date, if you're going to a wedding. It doesn't matter. I love that. So like I said before, you can end up hiding the chain and use it as a clutch. So the fact that you can transition from day to night almost seamlessly when you end up using this bag is awesome. Another pro that I'd have to say is the fact that you do have the credit card slots that are part of the lining, the design. I love that because that means that I don't have to worry about using a card holder, using a wallet. I can make sure that I can maximize my space with the other essentials that I need to carry when it comes to the wallet on chain, because it is very compact. So you have to, I feel that, you know, by not having to worry about a wallet, you're able to focus on all the other items that you want to carry. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that it does have those credit card slots that are part of the lining. Another pro, this bag actually fits quite a bit of smartphones. I do have the iPhone 6S. I know, it's very ancient, but it's able to fit in here very, very easily. So usually what I end up doing, because if I want to give space to, let's say that a lipstick, if I have my 6 key holder in here, whatever it is, I like the fact that my phone is able to slip in here very, very easily without a problem, and it doesn't take up too much space either. So I love that. I know that some people have said that their iPhone 7 Pluses are able to fit in here without a problem. Of course, the bigger the phone is, then the more space you're going to have to give to it versus carrying something else. But like I said before, it fits almost all of the smartphones that are out there. Another pro about this bag is this awesome secret compartment here. Now this little pocket, kind of like with the classic flaps, usually it's a little bit smaller and you can only fit so much, but with the wallet on chain, this awesome pocket goes the entire length of the wallet on chain, which I love. It is perfect if you want to hide larger bills in here, so that way when you open up your bag, you don't see the larger bills or anything else that you need to carry with you. Of course, you can't have something that's too, you know, it has to be something that's very slim in order to fit it back here, but I love the fact that you have this option, so you're able to hide items a lot easier, and the fact that it goes the entire length just gives you that much more space. Another pro on this bag is the fact that it has amazing resale value. This is by far one of my all-time favorite small leather goods from Chanel, one of my favorite purchases from Chanel, just because it has paid for itself multiple times over. And when it comes to the resale value, let's say that you end up buying it today and you love it, you think it's a great bag or you think it's a great item, and let's say 6 months from now, a year from now, you will still end up getting quite a bit of the money that you ended up putting towards this, if not all of the money that you put towards it, because this is such a highly sought after item. So the popularity aspect of it really adds to the resale value. So I also love that. And the last pro, this is by far one of my favorite travel bags. We used it, the last time I used it for travel was when we were in London, and it was awesome. It was such a great bag because of its size. Yes, you do have to go compact. It doesn't fit as much as, some of the other bags that I have in my collection. But for me, using a bag like this is perfect because if you are going to go sightseeing, if you are going to be somewhere where there are quite a bit of crowds, I personally don't want a bag that's going to be too cumbersome. I don't want a bag that's going to be protruding off of my body. I don't want it to just kind of stick out or anything like that. So the fact that this ends up laying flat up against my body was great. So when I would go through those crowds, I don't have to worry too much about it. The double CC, the button closure, I know some people have asked if it's if it becomes loose, if it just opens up, you know, all willy-nilly without a problem. I haven't had that issue. For the most part, I feel that the snap button closure is very, very secure. But like I said before, when I would end up using this for travel, I would put it underneath my peacoat, underneath my jacket, my cardigan, and it still seemed to be somewhat inconspicuous, and it didn't seem to attract as much attention. So I like that. And again, the fact that I was able to put some of the larger bills on the backside here and open it up, and I didn't have to worry that everyone would be able to see, you know, how much cash I was carrying or whatever it was. I really like that. There were times that I would end up putting my credit card back here as well. So that way, if someone was to see inside of my handbag, they'd end up seeing my phone and a lipstick, not too much else. So for travel, this is by far one of my all-time favorite, if not my favorite, and also because of how comfortable it is crossbody. So this is a very, very comfortable bag. Now for the pros on the mini rectangular. I've said this before, just because a bag is small doesn't mean that you can only fit 1 or 2 items. It's very deceiving. It's small, but it packs a punch, especially because of the design that it has on the interior. It doesn't have a whole lot of pockets going on because you have the zippered pocket that is up against the wall of the bag, and you have this little guy here that I don't really end up using because I feel like it's just a little too small. You don't have too much else. You don't have too many other pockets that you have to worry about, so you can really end up maximizing your space. So I do love that aspect about it. I also feel that this bag is incredibly lightweight for being an all-leather handbag. It doesn't dig into your shoulder or anything like that. I feel that when this bag, and you know, sometimes I'll end up carrying this bag for 8-9 hours. It depends where we are, and I just feel that it's just as comfortable as when I put it on at the very beginning of the day. So it doesn't dig into your shoulder or anything like that. So that is awesome. Another great thing is that I feel that this bag also transitions very well from day to night. I did use this when we went to, when we were in Hawaii, and I would end up wearing shorts and just a t-shirt and sneakers, and I felt that it really complemented any outfit. So I would end up wearing that, and I felt that this was the focal point of the outfit. And then later at night when we would go out to dinner, if I was wearing something a little bit more dressed up, I can end up using this. So the fact that this also transitions very well from day to night is another great feature about this bag. This also ends up fitting most cell phones because of its size. It does have the 8-inch length, so I feel that this one ends up fitting the cell phones a little bit better, just because, again, the type of opening or the type of compartment that you have here, you're able to fit your phone, and you don't have to give way to anything else. So again, this ends up fitting various phones very easily. So let me just show you guys. Here is my iPhone 6S. There you go. And you still have quite a bit of space for all of your other goodies inside. And for the last pro when it comes to this bag, even though I mentioned that the wallet on chain has great resale value, you can end up getting close to what you paid, if not what you paid for the item. When it comes to resale between the two, this one definitely holds its resale value the best. Oftentimes selling for more than retail price. Remember, it comes in at $3,100 plus tax here in the States. Oftentimes you can end up seeing this on consignment shops, on the pre-loved market or the resale market for $3,400, $3,500. Only because of its popularity. Even though the wallet on chain is very, very popular, the mini seems to be very elusive. It's very hard to track down, even if you go through a boutique or if you go through a department store such as Saks, Neiman's, or Nordstrom. It doesn't matter. Usually this is the type of bag that it's sold before it even hits the floor. So the popularity of it, the fact that it's very hard to track down, really adds to the resale value of this bag. Now for the cons. The wallet on chain definitely has a few cons. The first one being this little zipper here. Even though this zipper, you know, you have this awesome pocket that you're able to hide items, this little zipper here ends up digging into the leather. It doesn't matter if you have caviar leather, lambskin leather, goatskin leather, it doesn't matter. It always ends up digging in and you can end up seeing it. The best way to kind of avoid for that to happen is the way you end up storing it. I know that that's helped over time, but because of the design that it has, it's going to happen anyways. So usually when I go to store this item, I end up leaving it open. I don't end up doing the snap button closure, and I always ensure that I have the velvet part that came with it to make sure that this little guy isn't touching on the caviar here. But like I said, if you end up using this when you're out and about, you'll end up noticing this little indentation on the leather. So I'm not the craziest about the design that it has or how this ends up digging into this part of the wallet on chain. And since we are on the subject of the zipper, I'm not a fan of the type of hardware that they chose for the zipper either. I know that they did it so it would be black, so it would be a little bit more inconspicuous as opposed to having gold hardware or anything like that, but it is also plastic. So you have a plastic zipper here and a plastic zipper here that I don't really feel reflect the overall, the overall look when it comes to the wallet on chain. And the last con, I really can't turn a blind eye to the price point that it has. It comes in at $2,100 plus tax here in the States, as I mentioned, compared to some of the other fashion houses that have wallet on chains, like from Dior or from Saint Laurent. They're a little bit less expensive. It doesn't really reflect the price point that it has compared to the other fashion houses, if I'm comparing them, because the other ones have the leather lining and this one, again, has the cloth. So this kind of goes into the same lines as the plastic zipper. Again, you have this gorgeous leather, you have this gorgeous hardware, and then you open it up, you have plastic parts, and then you have cloth lining. So I felt that it would have been a little bit better. It would have added to the overall quality that it has had it been the leather that it has, kind of like what you see with the classic flaps. So again, that might be something that a lot of people don't care about, but I just wanted to voice my opinion when it comes to the cloth lining of the wallet on chain. Now for the cons on the mini, the first one being the grommets. This does feature the 2 grommets on the very top, which means that the chain is actually stationary. So let me just show you guys very quickly. So on here, you can't really take off the chain. It's pretty much set where it is. So you do have that strap drop that I was mentioning, the 23 inches. Some people have actually crossed the chain in here, kind of like what I did with the wallet on chain. I'm not the biggest fan of that, only because I don't want to rub the hardware on the caviar leather here any more than I should have to. So I really was a big fan of the older versions. The older versions had the 4 grommets that were very similar to the classic flaps. So that way, if you wanted to pull the chain through, if you wanted to double it up, if you wanted to make it shorter, if you wanted to make it longer, you could have done that, really adding to the versatility of how you can end up using this item. So the fact that, again, you do have the 2 grommets that do have the stationary chain doesn't really add too much versatility for you. Another con, and this is more geared toward my specific body type, so it's more of a heads up, but this bag, it's not the easiest to wear crossbody if you have a larger chest. A few months ago when I would end up using this bag, I really didn't like the way that it looked. I felt that it looked a little too awkward. I almost felt that I ended up overwhelming the bag. And when I would end up using it crossbody, it would end up digging into my chest. And it wasn't very comfortable. So that's just something to note. So whenever you end up putting it on, it ended up being a little bit higher up on my torso. And I just felt like it was a little too noticeable whenever I would use it crossbody. You know what I mean? Compared to some of the other bags that when you use them crossbody, you don't really feel that they're there. But I felt that this one, you can definitely feel the presence of the bag, if that makes any sense. So it's not the easiest to wear crossbody if you have a larger chest. And the last con, it's not necessarily a con, but it's more of a frustration, and that's the fact that this item is very elusive. And even though I did touch base on it with the pros, and the fact that it's not something that's very easy to come by in the boutiques adds to the resale value, I get that. But at the same time, I feel that because these aren't readily available in the boutiques, because there is such a long wait list, because these are sold behind the scenes before they even hit the floor, it's not really something that, that a lot of people can experience. Because let's say that you are in between a medium, large, and a jumbo, and you really can't decide, or maybe you want something a little bit smaller. The fact that you can't even check these out at the boutique because they're sold out, it's kind of like one of those things, okay, how am I supposed to see if it ends up suiting my lifestyle if I can't even go check it out at the boutique? So again, it's not necessarily a con. Some people might view it as a con, but the frustration is definitely there. So, the biggest con on this item, like I said before, is more so the design of the grommets. The other one is more specific towards my body frame, and the other one is just a little bit of a gripe, if you will. Now for my final thoughts on these bags, I think that they're great additions to add to any collection at any point in time. When it comes to the wallet on chain, I've said it before, this is one of the best purchases I have ever made from the fashion house. It has paid for itself multiple times over. I have had it closer to, I think 3.5, 4 years now, somewhere around those lines. And I feel that it has held up incredibly well. It does have a little bit more of a sheen to it than it did in the beginning. But still, I don't have any scuff marks. I don't have, I mean, really the only thing that's noticeable on it is the fact that it has the wrinkling going on. It's a little bit more prominent on this side than it is on this side, and that's really because of me. I end up overstuffing this bag sometimes when we travel, so I've experienced that, and really you do have a few hairline scratches on the double CC here, but other than that, I don't have any wear marks here where the chain sometimes ends up rubbing. I haven't had any issues with loose threading or anything like that. This has held up incredibly well for as long as I've had it and for as much as I've used it. And I also wanted to mention that even though a lot of people end up using this as a handbag, it is still a wallet, so you won't be able to fit a crazy amount of items in here. It ends up fitting the essentials, but still you have to go very, very compact when it comes to using this as a handbag. Now when it comes to the mini, this one has also worn very, very well. I have the lambskin that I was talking about earlier, and between the two, I actually prefer the lambskin leather. I feel that it makes it look a little bit more luxurious. I feel that the details just stand out a little bit more. And even though I've always been a diehard fan of caviar leather, just because it's very carefree, the lambskin leather isn't as delicate as I once thought. If you end up getting a scratch on there, you can actually just end up rubbing your finger on it, and sometimes it'll go away. Other times people end up using leather conditioner, and it ends up just livening up the bag and you get rid of that scratch. But it's not as scratch prone as I thought it would be, you know what I mean? So that really makes me happy. But the caviar leather, like I said, is very, very carefree. It's something that you can end up using in any type of weather, so you don't have to necessarily worry about that. Versus this one, you can't really use it in the rain. You can't use it in the snow, because then you'll end up having the water stain, but still, it's not as delicate as I once thought it was as far as attracting scratches like crazy. But I also wanted to let you guys know that sometimes I end up using my mini pochette inside of my minis to give a little protection to the leather lining that they have, just in case I have something that has a corner that might end up digging into the leather or anything like that. I try to, even though I don't necessarily baby them in a sense, even though some people might say that that's babying them, but I want to try to keep the interior looking as great as possible for as long as possible. So that's why I end up using the mini pochette to house the items that I'm going to use inside of this bag. I also wanted to say that if you are looking to add a pop of color to your collection, for example, all of my Chanel handbags are black. It's my safe color, all right? Leave me alone. It's my safe color. I do have the one wallet on chain that is red, and I feel that it really adds variety to my collection. So let's say that you're the same as I am, and let's say that you are looking for a different color, but you're not sure of getting a bigger bag in a color. You can go for the wallet on chain, or you can go for the mini, and I feel that it adds that nice variety without the color being too overwhelming of a bag. Like, it doesn't have to be this, you know, it doesn't have to be the jumbo. It doesn't have to be the medium large, and you can really test out to see how that color that you love so much works out in your collection without it having to be, again, a very big bag. So do I recommend these? Absolutely I do. I think that they're great for different reasons. Like I said, they're both very easy to transition from day to night. They're both great additions to any collection at any point in time. And even though they do have their cons, I really feel that their pros outweigh the cons that they have. It's just a matter of seeing which one ends up working out for your lifestyle the best. Now for the $1 million question, which one do I prefer out of the two? I do love them both. I think that they're great, but I have to say that my favorite is actually the wallet on chain. There's just something about it. Maybe it's because it seems to be a lot easier on me when I end up using it crossbody, and even though it doesn't fit you know, like a large amount of items, it still ends up working out perfectly for me and what it is that I'm looking forward to carrying for the day. I'm getting all tongue-tied, as always. But I still love the mini. I think it's great, but this one, I feel that I end up gravitating towards it every single time. So I'm still rotating this one into my collection as much as possible, but I feel that this one, it's just like, okay, when I don't know what I want to use, or if I want to go somewhere where, if we're traveling, or if I'm going somewhere that I need something a little bit more compact, I almost always end up going for the wallet on chain, just because I feel that it's very simple and it's very, very easy. Now when it comes to these two, surprisingly, I can end up fitting the same amount of items inside because I don't need a card holder with this one or a wallet, and I end up having to put the card in or the wallet in here. But really what it comes down to is the fact that I end up having to overstuff this in order to fit the same amount of items as this one does, because the depth on this one is, I mean, is nowhere near as thin as the wallet on chain is. But still, sometimes it catches me off guard when I end up putting the same amount of items inside. I'm just like, wait, what? How is that even possible? But again, then you end up seeing the wear and tear that I have, or the wear that you have here with the wrinkling. So that's just something else that I wanted to throw out there. All right, you guys, so that does it for my comparison video. I hope I was able to help. I hope I was able to give, I mean, I was trying to give as much information as possible, so I'm sure this video is going to be a little bit lengthy, and I really hope that the mod shots helped as well. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. If there's another comparison video that you would like to see, let me know in the comment section down below. I do have in the works my Battle of the Classics, which is my jumbo versus my medium large. I know that's going to be a crazy long video, so little by little I'm gathering all the information just so I have everything ready to go. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you possibly later this week. If not, I will see you on Monday. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.